Something that upsets me is that the Aperture Science logo looks like it says Capture Science. Anyways, hello everybody, my name is Duncan, and I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of a game called Portal? Portal is a game developed by Valve, who made insanely popular games like Half-Life, Counter-Strike, and Team Fortress 2. They don't make anything anymore though, because fucking Peter Griffin is like, what if we just stop making shit? That'd be kind of epic, not gonna lie. And everybody on the internet is completely fine with that. But before Mr. Griffin became Retep or whatever, he was like, let's just fucking make shit. So they decided to make a compilation game. And because orange is clearly the bestest color ever, they decided to call it the Orange Box. And they also decided, hey, we're making that fun little game about portals. Let's just put that in there. So when one game developer and another game developer love each other very much, they make a video game. And that's how Portal was born. So what exactly even is Portal, you definitely are not asking? Portal is a game where you shoot portals. But to be more specific, Portal is a puzzle platforming game where you use a device called the Portal Gun to traverse a level and solve puzzles, which was heavily inspired by the all-time classic game Splitgate. The idea of Portal was something that had never been done before besides Splitgate. I literally just made that joke. Nobody had ever made a puzzle game with such potential like Portal did. Were they successful? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about. Is Portal actually good? My past with the game Portal is frankly non-existent. When I was a kid, I had heard of Portal through my friends, but I never actually played it because I sucked and do still suck at puzzle games. I did play the Flash game that came out, however, but I do think I got stuck at some point and stopped playing. Yeah. Though I did play the multiplayer of Portal 2 at my friend's house. I think it was the Fat Circle one. I don't remember much about it besides some puzzle with the light bridge, so clearly it was an important memory. But as some of you may know if you've been watching my channel for a while, or if you literally just looked at the homepage of my channel, you'd know that I'm friends with a guy named Postmax, or Subject95 if you're a fan of subjects.
Duncannon Live Minion emote, that's awesome. Shout out, Minion.
But what you might not know is that this Postmax guy is a massive fan of Portal. More so Portal 2, but still. He even bought a replica of the Portal gun. So to say the least, he's been hyping up this game for the 6-7 years that I've known him. So one day I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna stream this game. So I bought Orange Box. I opened up Twitch on the Xbox. Started stream, stopped after 2 hours because I had to go do stuff. Woke up the next day and started editing the stream. But that is when disaster struck. The audio for the first 15 minutes was completely messed up. So I got pissed, said I'd do it later, and I never did that. That was about a year ago, but recently I got a new computer, and I decided to just stream Portal a few days ago. And that time, I also had audio issues, because it turned out my mic was really low volume the entire stream. Follow me on Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/DuncanonLive. But I decided, fuck it. I beat the entire game in that one stream, who cares? And that's where we are today. So yeah, I have a bit of a weird relationship with this game. But before we actually start talking about the game, let's talk a little bit about the game's development. What? Oh, you don't want to hear me talk about how the Portal gun was initially a modified gravity gun from Half-Life? You don't want to hear me talk about its initial trailer and what changed? You don't even want to hear me talk about how Chell was initially a man? Okay, fine, whatever. Be a fucking dick then. I don't actually, I'm doing this for you, man. I don't care. This is for you. Let's just talk about the game's reputation. Portal 1 is an interesting game because it's very popular and very respected, but is overshadowed in every way by its younger brother Portal 2. Apparently, I don't know if it's actually better yet, but Portal 1 is not nearly talked about as much as Portal 2. And why is that? You'll have to find out in my next video, the Garden of Banban review. Without further ado, let's get into the game. First impressions are very important in a video game. What plays when you first see and hear the game is going to shape how you initially think and go into the game. And how does Portal shape up? Well, it's interesting to say the least. Besides the creepy Valve logo, which never ceases to creep me out, you see this. It's empty, right? At least that's what I felt. I looked at it and was kind of underwhelmed by it, but it also has this eerie feeling to it. Almost this creepy medical facility vibe. You know when you're at the dentist when you're a kid and you'll walk in terrified, the fluorescent lights making this humming noise as you feel your impending doom? Maybe you didn't feel that, but that's what I felt, and that's what's important, because I'm better than you. Anyways, that's just the vibe it gives. A sickly medical vibe, if you're catching my evil drift. Not a single goddamn person is going to get the joke besides Max, but whatever. This eerie synth plays in the background, giving a warbly sense of uncomfort, not helped by the return of the fluorescent light's hum. It all gives off this unwell, uncomfortable feeling, which kind of ties into the rest of the game. Speaking of which, the story. The story of Portal goes something like this. In this game, you control a character named Shell. Who's been put into the Aperture Science Research Facility, where you have to go through a series of challenges to reach the cake, something that even as a non-Portal fan, I was made plenty aware of by early 2010s internet. In these challenges, you are given instructions by a robot named GLaDOS, and during these tests, you are given the Aperture Science handheld portal device, or the portal gun if you're a dumb, stinky, idiot loser, which obviously gives you the ability to shoot out a portal. Hence the name. Throughout the game, you are slowly shown how truly desolate this place is, with no signs of life anywhere besides one thing: mad, insane scribblings on the wall talking about GLaDOS and how the cake is a lie. You go through the puzzles until GLaDOS deems you are no longer necessary and sees that the puzzles are done, and attempts to put you in a massive pit of fire, which clearly she forgot something. There's no cake. Like, how, excuse me, how did you forget that? No, game devs, fix this one. I think I'm gonna have to keep that in the video. I'm not re-recording it. Oh, she also forgot that you still have the portal gun, and that, you know, coincidentally, the walls are made out of the one material in which you can put portals on. Really smart. So, assuming you escape, GLaDOS tries to run that back and say, "Hey man, my bad, it was a misunderstanding," which worked, obviously, but you just so happen to be going in the wrong way, and you're still accidentally escaping. But eventually, you reach GLaDOS's lair, where a big boss fight happens, in which you throw her personality cores into a fire, defeating her, resulting in a massive explosion, where you end up outside, barely conscious, as you watch your body be dragged away. Like a bout. But something that might not be talked about as much as the story, which makes it all the more impactful, is the music. The music in Portal has this lonely, drab vibe to it, which I don't know if you noticed this yet, but this game might have a little bit of a bad vibe. The music really helps you feel like you're in this world. Some tracks like Android Hell start off with this almost peaceful vibe, but slowly turns more sinister as the song progresses. One song that stuck out to me was 4000 Degrees Kelvin, which is when you turn that corner and see fire. It really intensifies that moment, which is in direct contrast to songs like Subject Name Here, which does have a very calming vibe to it, almost something you'd hear in like Terraria. But that's when you get to the most notable track for me. My personal favorite, Self-Esteemed Fund. This song, when I was live, was the only one that made me point it out. The others, while great, sort of blended in, but this song captures the feeling of dread the best. The sinister feeling this facility has is on full effect here. It almost sounds like something you'd hear from like Batman Arkham Asylum. Obviously, we still have to talk about the song, Still Alive. Even before I played Portal, this is a song that I had already heard, specifically from Max, who played this song almost as much as he likes to play the Markiplier I Love Space song. You know something that really sells a game? The visuals. The visuals in this game are nothing crazy graphically wise. It looked about as on par with other games that came out in 2007, like Ratatouille, but that's not to crap on the game's visuals. In fact, I really enjoy them, because this game truly fits what it's going for. The walls give off almost an insane asylum feeling. You feel trapped. With every room almost looking identical, it gives off this feeling of like, you've been here already, you've done this already, which helps with this game's looming feeling of paranoia. It looks old, but you're not the first person to ever be here. Which reminds me, when I was playing this game, I had a theory that the writings on the walls were actually chills, that the entire game was a loop, where I thought at the end of the game I was gonna have my mind be wiped and have to start all over again. Obviously, not what happened, but I just wanted to mention that theory because I think it was interesting, okay? But I think it's about time that I start talking about the gameplay. The gameplay of Portal is something that I've already mentioned before. You wake up, you get the portal gun, you win. I'd like to go a little bit more in depth with that. When you start off, you don't even have the portal gun yet. The puzzles initially revolve around you navigating the room, trying to enter the portal at the right time, get the cube onto the button, big win. But eventually, you do obviously get the portal gun, but initially you can only use the blue one. So you have to navigate the rooms until you get the add-on, which lets you use the orange portal. Things you'll encounter in this game are, like I said, cubes, buttons, which is simple, but cube, button, awesome. But you'll also have to encounter things like the sentry turrets, which when they see you will fire an infinite amount of ammo until you die, but you have to sneak behind them and knock them out. Hello, a quick editor's note here. I accidentally cut out the part where I say that this next thing is about the companion cube. Damn, keep that in mind. Which after you kill it, you find out that it's alive and feeling. Which is not wholesome game. Downvote. Some notable levels are Test Chamber 10, which uses the momentum this game has really effectively. Also, I'd like to talk about Test Chamber 15 for confusing the fuck out of me when I played it, which I think is actually one of the easier levels in the game, so that makes me feel really great about myself. I'd like to talk about Test Chamber 18 for pissing me off so much on my first playthrough I just stopped playing. And finally, Test Chamber 20 for literally trying to kill me. Also, the fourth part of the escape sequence with the room full of like sentry turrets was actually really fun. Genuinely enjoyed that one, so if you need a recommendation for levels to go back on, do that, I guess. For bonus modes, you have the Still Alive chambers, which I did not do. There's also developer commentary, which I did not watch. So yeah, that's Portal's gameplay. Let's talk a little bit about the legacy. As I mentioned earlier, this game is completely, I'm not saying completely dunked on. Why did I write that into the script? This game is completely overshadowed by its successor, but I still think that this game has a rightful place in gaming history. While I'm not into the puzzle game scene, I do have a feeling that this game has etched its name into the community forever. This game might have been a game changer for fans, I don't know, for people who be playing puzzle games. Shout out to you guys, I guess. But what do I think? This is my final verdict. I think that Portal 1 is one of the most interesting games I have ever played. I can see why it's so monumental and held in such a high regard. I think that this game nailed natural storytelling. This game has fascinated me more than any game in recent memory. I was so invested after I completed the game because it drew me in so hard. Speaking of hard, Schlatt, if you have never played Portal, which I think I'm the only person who hasn't until recently, I really recommend the game. It's a slow start, but when it gets going, the mystery of this game's world will keep you invested like no other. Portal has a 10 out of 10 on Steam and a 9.1 on IMDb. Isn't that a movie site? It also has an 8.2 on IGN. Do I think it's deserving of this high praise? If I haven't made it obvious yet, yes, absolutely. Even at 8.2, while I'd probably rate it higher at an 8.5, I get why it's at that. And also why it would be at a 10. The game is great. Go play it. So, that's Portal, huh? Pretty good game. I'm a bit of a fan. Now I just have to see if I'll ever actually make a Portal 2 video. But, I don't know. The idea of that seems pretty moronic. That joke sucks.